Hi there, this is Brian Atkinson from Configurable Management. In today's video, I wanted to show some tricks for finding transaction codes for things that you're configuring through the IMG. Um, Sometimes it's difficult to find the transaction code, so I just wanted to show you a few tricks. One of the tricks that people have seen a lot before is for example, if you go to let's go to the enterprise structure and let's look at sales org, right? So one of the things you'll see on lots of posts, this has been around for a long time, right? Is you can go to the additional information right here and display the IMG activity and expand this out. And at the end here, you'll see OVX5, which is transaction code. But um, there's other that doesn't work on everything, and let me show you why. Right, if I right click on this and say display technical information, you'll see where that's coming from. Right, this is just coming from the ID that was assigned to it when that part of the IMG tree structure was built, and the developer that built it just happened to put the transaction code on the end. You can see they also put it on the end here of the document name, but they don't always do that. So you may not find what you're looking for just by the ID of the IMG activity. There may be no transaction code associated with that. So a good example, let's come down to logistics, material master. Let's see, basic. No, let's see. We want to be settings for key fields. Yeah, so right here. So look at the this maintain external material groups here. It does not have the transaction code on the end of it, and but there is a way to find it. So if you kind of follow the same path, so I'm going to right click and say display technical information, and I'm going to go to maintenance objects. And what you're going to see is that this is actually maintained through transaction SM30, so it's got some table maintenance associated with it, and it's done through this view right here. And you can double click on that, and so you can see this view that's right here. Okay, now the way to go find well, and there may not be, right? The transaction code to maintain this might be SM30, but a lot of times there's an assigned transaction code. And if you want to see if there's an assigned transaction code, I'm just gonna copy that that view, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to SE16, and what you want to look for is this table here, TSTCP, and let's bring that table up in the data dictionary, right? So this is the transaction code table, but it also shows the parameters that are stored for that transaction code. So if you have a transaction code, so take the one we were looking at earlier for the sales organization, the OVX5. Notice how it's set up, right? It's the transaction associated with it is actually SM30, but down here it has the view name that it's maintained with. Okay, so if I go back and look at this table here, TSTCP, okay, and I'm going to come down to the parameters, and if I do star SM30 star and then paste in that view name, and then I'm actually getting the way that parameters get separated is a semicolon. So normally there's an update parameter as well with an X in it. So if I put semicolon star and then press F8, there you go. I get the transaction code that's associated with that, and I can copy that, and I can go test that out and see if that is correct. And sure enough, it is external material group. That's where it's configured. So, and the reason I put that, let me go back to that view one more time, or go back to the SE16. So the reason I put that semicolon on there is, so watch if I were to do the same thing, SM30 star. What if I did the same thing for sales organization, which is maintained through view v underscore tvko. And if I didn't put that semicolon there, watch what happens when I execute this, right? I get lots of transaction codes because there's other views. I mean, the one I'm really looking for, right, is right here. But you see how the parameters, you see all this, the update parameters at the end of these, and so they're all separated by this semicolon. So if I were to back out and just improve this search a little bit by putting a semicolon right there and execute, right, then I see the transaction code that's associated with defining a new sales org, which I saw anyway through the IMG. But just a good way to find out if there is a transaction code associated with something that you're seeing in the IMG, if that transaction code has not been purposely put into the ID of the IMG activity. Hope that was helpful. That was when I first started doing SAP, that was always a challenge trying to figure out the transaction codes. So if you're new to SAP, or maybe you've been doing SAP for a while, hopefully this is something you haven't seen before, and it will be helpful for you going forward. Thanks for watching the video. Take care.